This is getting heated. One question has now exploded into a bigger debate. Does apartheid mean South Africa must simply open its doors to everyone, including undocumented migrants, with no questions asked? At the center of the storm is March and March leader Jacinta Ngobese Zuma, who pushed back hard against concerns about xenophobia in South Africa. Her message was blunt. Hi, Ngeke fella, essentially. No, that cannot be. Her argument is that South Africa's painful apartheid history cannot be used as a permanent excuse for illegal immigration. She says the country has the right to protect its borders, its jobs, its public services, and its citizens.
This country had its bridges bombed by the South African apartheid regime and many other African countries. But we say these are our brothers and sisters, and we fought with you. We fought with South Africans. We put our lives on the chopping boards. Some of our military people died. Civilians died, together with South Africans. Why should we separate ourselves now? Now that you have the freedom. That's a homework that South Africans must really mark and mark properly. What's happening there is wrong. And the leadership, my colleagues, I'm sure they're taking steps to correct that misnomer, that serious anomaly. If we did not accommodate South Africans here, how would you have been independent? How would you have succeeded in fighting apartheid? You wouldn't have succeeded. I think that's a homework for South Africa. Even ordinary South Africans like yourselves. You are here. Nobody's harassing you. And remember, a lot of the freedom fighters, Umkhonto Sizwe guys, left wives and children here. So what are you calling those people when they come to South Africa? We're one family, one genetic material, one bloodline. We need unity. We need to fight poverty by investing together, by doing SADC projects together. And then we can grow our economies and provide opportunities for example, skills development in South Africa, in Zambia, in Botswana, in Zimbabwe, together. And investing in businesses that will employ our regional population, most of which is young in profile. I'm strong about this issue. It is not correct. What's happening in South Africa is not correct. And I can look at you in the eyes and look at the camera. That has to stop now. Now. There are issues of labor, jobs. There's a way you handle them. You don't have to kill fellow citizens. I'm talking of SADC citizens. I'm talking of African citizens. We have opened no visas here. You can come. No visas. This is your country. You have an investment to make here. I'll be the first one to facilitate it. Thank you.
But critics fire back. South Africa is part of Africa, and Africans fleeing hardship should not automatically become targets simply because they crossed a border. And that is where this debate becomes explosive. Immigration enforcement is one thing, but xenophobia is another. The real question is, can South Africa protect its borders without turning against fellow Africans? The argument is far from over. Asterisk. The script reflects the documented debate around March and Ngobese Zuma's anti-migrant position. The movement has rejected accusations of xenophobia while calling for undocumented migrants to leave South Africa. Asterisk.
National Arts Council, I got a message from the union and from the portfolio committee that appeared before the union and say that we have enjoyed our right to strike and for monies that's due to us. I went to go check. The strike has been ongoing. The strike has been costing us a lot of heartache. And when I saw the amounts for the reason of the strike is costing us more than the amount that the union is striking for. And when I look at the reasons, I sided with the unions that, of course, they're deserving of that money, that it has been promised to them, and when you make a promise, you have to keep it. And we then said, you know what, the board should reinstate the striking workers so that the work can go on. And they didn't. They took too long. And that is the reason why I disbanded them. They went to court. They went first. They won first round. But yeah, we're still going on. And there's people have a right. I mean, the courts are the side. I must respect the courts. But for me, it's just, this is not time to fight. This is the time to change the art industry. And if we are busy with holding people out of their jobs, how do we expect to do all the other work is standing still? But I will be meeting with the National Arts Council soon, and maybe we can find compromise.
Yeah, I mean, the 11 council member has been reinstated, and during that judgment, Judge Milan noted that you dissolved the council just 4 days before their scheduled meeting to settle the performance bonus dispute. Do you think you acted too quickly?
No, well, the court, for me, the court also get it wrong sometimes, and I'm not saying the judge got it wrong, but one thing about being a minister, if I wasn't a minister, I would have gone for this judge and say, no, you are wrong, but now that I'm a minister, I put my hand on the Bible and I said I will respect the judgments of the courts, and I have to do that. But I think, on hindsight, maybe I did act too quickly. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't act too quickly, but I'm just an action man. When something bothers me, I investigated, and when I found, so let's see, we are not enemies. I appointed this board, and if the court says I acted too quickly, maybe I did. Well, you know what, let me start at the beginning. I'm glad that you broke it down so perfectly. Let's start. My expenses to go there for 4 weeks came up to $1 million around. I don't decide the flight prices. I don't decide hotel prices. But there's these 4 weeks in the United States of America, traveling between the US and Mexico. Though people, the opposition parties, political parties, say Mackenzie spent 31 million. I'm talking about myself first as the minister on official duties. That costs 1 million. Secondly, you cannot spend 10 million on cultural events, and then you do not have people manning that. The staff that went. This 131 million rand that everybody's talking about consisted of around 70 people that went. And not wanting to be insensitive, tickets were not cheap. I've done so much to try to minimize the cost. Let me tell you one of the things that I did. I, for instance, took Ubers. I, for instance, didn't use the ground transport, because every time I used ground transport, it came up to like 500,000 rands a week. And I said, no, I'll rather take Ubers. Or I took a lift as the minister with my special advisor, because he had to rent a car. He rented a vehicle. And I'm saying this just to show that I wasn't going there to spend the public's money. Any minister or any government official that travels, you get what they call S&Ts. And I asked them, how much is my S&Ts for this trip? They said 54,000. I said, no, I don't want that. I want that to be part of the saving. And I don't decide the ticket prices. But here's the main issue. If you look at what South Africa, we're going to soon bring out to this country, the ROI, the return on investment. If you look at the return on investment that South Africa will generate from being on the news, we're on CNN, we're on BBC, we're on all these different channels around the world, our lucky fans. And I did more than that. I, as the minister, I went to Betway, I went to Cell C, I went to Old School to say, can you help us to make the cost less? It's just politics at play here. I can tell you now, what we got as a country will far exceed, and don't take my word for it, wait for the next 3 weeks for us to bring out the return on investment on what we spend. We cannot have, we went to Mexico at a time where, and I will be forthright about this, where there was people from Nigeria that went with placards saying South Africa is a xenophobic country, and they wanted to take that in the Mexico game, and the world will see. And we fought that We fought that tooth and nail. Our supporters came and all the attention was on our lucky fans. And you know, it's not, we can tell you exactly what we did with every sender. That's why we can break it down.
Yeah.
You know, if you compare this to an ordinary minister's trip sometimes or ordinary delegation, this was the biggest event. And I took this money from my budget. This money is budgeted for. I am part of my duties as the minister's events. This was the biggest event in the world. How can I, as the minister responsible for events, not be present at the biggest event in the world? No event is bigger than the Soccer World Cup. In South Africa, I can tell you now, we were the star country. And the legends, I want to end with the legends, these people have, the Siyabonga Nomvetes, the Steve Pinnards of this world, these people have given us absolute joy. And when they went to go play in Mexico, it was a full house. There was no more space. And the currency and the return on investment that South Africa got, and it might not sound nice what I'm going to say, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
To play, you have to pay. That's how life works. I can't promote South Africa through Zoom, through the World Cup. They have to be there. And we have really tried to keep the cost down. When I would never claim for the food of the lucky fans, for instance. I would say, no, guys, let me take you for dinner. Let me take you for lunch. Because we tried to keep the cost at 31 million. And now it's just elections. People are doing this. But if you're going to see what South Africa gained through that, we all complained about the 2010 World Cup. But till today, all of us ministers, we still use the 2010 World Cup and say we can host events. And the people that are hosting the events, the people that owns the events are saying to us, no, you can host events because of 2010. That investment of 2010 is still paying off and off and off.